he's gone. Talking to myself. Bravo, by the way, on the old...
This year, next year, and the year after.
That was horrible.
I'll bring the good stuff.
It's Monday morning. It's 8:15 and my phone currently hasn't rung once. At the very frustrating phase of being halfway between moving offices, just spin you around. I'm working on, about to send off the prices on some of this project. Got up for a coffee, the cat immediately took my chair. The guys are cracking on. We lost one of our gazebos last night to that storm, which is a pain and another expensive way to start another week. Yeah, working from home, getting these projects out, clearing my desk, see what the week brings.
I would help, but this is just great content.
Mate, I got it in so easily, so I don't know why it's not coming out.
You been up the new yard?
Yeah, just there with Ollie now, Ollie and Andy.
Coming along?
Ollie's office is looking real nice.
Is it?
Yeah.
Lovely. We are back. I'm back in my new office. So we had all of our plants arrive over the weekend. So a load for downstairs, a load for me up here. And we've decided to change a lot of the electrics and the light fittings. And we thought because we painted everything and gone this far, it's just a real shame sticking with those clunky white units. So we've gone for sort of copper switches and back boxes for all the sockets, new light fittings. These are our downlighters. Paint is all there except for this little thing, which just needs sanding and filling. So hopefully get all of these lights in today, and then, well, I've been assured that the electrician is coming to finally get us connected so we can do Wi-Fi, heating, lighting, then no excuses. It's the end of a Monday, just one of those days where I just feel like I've been really busy but not actually achieved much. So doing what I try and avoid, which is being like a busy fool. Been using the car as a van. We've accumulated another Range Rover's worth of cardboard that we're getting rid of. Oh, it's rubbish everywhere. It's bloody wind. Storm, what's this one called? Storm Iris or something. Oh, look at it all. Gross, gross, gross. Oh. I just got some sort of sludge all down the back of my neck. Gross.
The invoices haven't been input very well, so they don't have a description which would give the tool name, and that's what they should do normally. And then you can run.
I can't remember where we got to. We were talking about the.
So plans tomorrow are same teams in same places, please. Oh, they didn't give me a turf delivery. They just said by 1 p.m. So obviously not very helpful. And he's gone. I'm talking to myself.
Shut up, Ty. That was horrible.
Oh yeah, get the tape out.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. Stickers.
Made by Finch. Thanks, Rowan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Next time, you can install it. It's nice, isn't it? There's a Hardwood one downstairs as well. I am on my way up to East Horsley, just trying to catch the client there before his working day starts. So the guys have been ripping up the decking that's there, and underneath the decking there is a concrete pad that we need to break out. So normally, okay, you know, it's frustrating, we'd suck it up, we'd break it out. This concrete pad underneath a deck is 600mm thick and it's reinforced. These are the sorts of things that we need to charge for. we obviously quote on the basis of installing the design over sort of assumed specifications. This is literally going to take 3 guys probably a whole week to break out. When I say it's concrete pad, it's the full width of the house. It's big. We also explored maybe trying to work off it, but the heights aren't right and it's also not level. So it's got to come out. Hopefully the clients are receptive of that. So far they've been, you know, very practically minded and seemingly pretty aware of how everything works and very easy to deal with. So I'll check in with you on site. It's not going to be anything exciting. It's just going to be a load of concrete and messed up steel. We will always try and look at, rather than just knocking on the door and saying, we've come across this, we have to charge you extra. We'll always look at how we can try and lose that cost within the project. So if we end up doing something that isn't really going to be very impactful for the client, you know, it might be a very slight aesthetic twist, or, you know, something like today, for example, just moving a couple of steps, which had to be in there anyway, we've just changed where they are. It means that we can then actually use a lot of that concrete, which is great, and is going to save the money, which we can obviously offset against any additional costs. I mean, a lot of that is down to sort of Matt and how he looked at the project, so well done to the guys on site for sort of thinking outside the box and being proactive and just having the client's best interests. It is, I don't know what day of the week it is. Try that again. It's Wednesday, and this is hopefully the last little progress video I'm going to do of my new office. The electrician is actually here connecting us to the farm's electrics now. It is happening. Which feels weird saying that you're proud of yourself, but I am, you know. I find this such an inspiring environment to be in. It's pretty impossible not to be here and then be motivated to constantly keep working and building and bettering myself. Got some really cool graphics on the wall. So for the landscaping, the development company, so sort of filmed conversations that we have down this end, we can have those in the background, which is great. Got one print on the wall. I've got a little series of 3 paintings that I picked up in South Africa, which are being framed at the moment. So they're going to go on this bit of wall to add a little bit of colour. And then my big print that I bought ages ago, my dream cars on it, to remind me what I'm working for.
Oh, bravo, by the way, on the old Christmas vid.
You like it?
Yeah, I did, actually. Oh, there we go. Jobs for January. Although it's not just January, it's first couple of months of the year, really. Well, you can plant bulbs like snowdrops. So you plant snowdrops. Generally, you plant them in the green. So basically, either they're a bit more over than that, really. So they're just done what they're doing. So the reason you plant them in the green is then you hope that all the squirrels and deers aren't really that interested in them if they're doing something. Because if you just plant them in the autumn, they're really interested in them because it's like a small, nice little bulb to eat.
Thursday afternoon. Running out of daylight again, but just managed to get out with the dogs. I spent the afternoon doing a sort of marketing appraisal on the first adverts we've been running with Ty, which was really useful. So yeah, get the dogs out, try and get a little run in, and then back into the office to prep for tomorrow's meetings. I mean, today just seems to have been the best day so far, in some bigger companies starting to follow us because of what we're doing, some bigger designers starting to follow us, people who I've never met, but I'm sort of aware of what they're doing, actually just reaching out and just sending messages on Instagram, which have all been really lovely. But yeah, lots of messages of encouragement and support already. Had a look at the analytics today, and actually there's a big chunk of people start watching and then drop off at 4 minutes, but the remaining percentage actually then stick and watch the whole video, which is really cool. So yeah, cheers guys, I appreciate that. Appreciate it's a chunk of your time you're never ever going to get back, so I'll do my best to entertain. It's Friday morning and I've got, it's about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to go and visit a designer that I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, has reached out to us. So the initial dialogue with her started over 2 years ago. One, amazing how time flies, and two, just shows persistence pays off. So sort of periodically over those couple of years, I'd touch base every sort of few months, but you know, both busy. But it was actually after making myself a LinkedIn profile and sort of
taking myself publicly a little bit more seriously and putting our content out there and showing that we did maintenance and all of the sort of media and videos associated with our maintenance. She's actually asked us to come in and have a chat. So not only will we be looking at a hard landscaping project, we'll also be looking at using our maintenance facility to help with her gardens that have already been built, already been delivered, ongoing contracts. Her and her practice do some really nice projects. Yeah, looking forward to having a sit down and talking about what we can offer. Got them some chocolates as well. I've never been there, I've never met them in person, so I don't know what they like. So chocolates are a pretty safe bet. So if you're a designer and you like chocolates, invite me over, I'll bring the good stuff.
Good week, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good weekend.
And Chelsea planning, how's that going?
Yeah, I mean, it's a million miles an hour. With this thing called Project Giving Back, everybody's scrabbling for 25, 26. So we've got conversations going on for this year, next year, and the year after. It's just It's relentless, actually, relentless. But no, Chelsea planning is going okay. Yeah, so every day there's something happening on it, but yeah, it's good, very good.
Good. You saw on Instagram, I put that little thing up saying, you know, anybody got any questions for Mark? And so question from us is back on the topic of commercial contracts and how do we position ourselves to start tendering and finding tender opportunities for commercial projects?
Okay, so an interesting point, because I think the commercial does not only think as commercial, industrial or blue chip companies, it is residential as well. So some of our residential schemes are that big, they are commercial contracts.
Okay.
And you know, even somebody like you are ambitious in the domestic market, by default, you'll end up doing a commercial contract very, very soon. So, you know, brand new builds, these are, you know, we've done private houses that have been built by massive civil engineering contractors. And here lies the issue. Just by default, you will get drawn into that. Because if you want to tender for that work, you have to work for the builder, because it's a zero rated, it's a VAT-free contract, and it's got to be you, the landscaper, a part of that build. So even if you say, I'm not interested in doing anything but residential designs, but I want to get bigger, then you'll be working on commercial contracts. And I think, you know, what I would say is do your risk analysis and do not be frightened to become a pain. It's got to work for you. It really has. There's certain contractors, no name, no mention, that I will not work for, because historically they've got a really bad payment culture. If the terms don't work for you, don't do it. Don't get sucked into it. Don't do it because it's an ego thing. And I think actually what I said to you last time is my job is risk analysis. Risk to the business. Your paperwork has to be really, really sharp. It may be that you certainly, if you're getting into that, won't be big enough to take on a full-time quantity surveyor, QS, to do the financials.
Yeah.
But then there are independent, there are freelance people. You can take people on by contract. You might only have somebody 3-4 hours a week to do a contract. Good advice.
Yeah.
You know, don't think you can do everything yourself. Use your accountant to do the risk, the back of the contractor. But I mean, certainly for us, we surround ourselves by a professional team, and be prepared to walk away, and don't bite something off that you can't resource. And look at the terms and actually negotiate the terms. You know, maybe, I mean, we're just doing a contract at the moment, and I mean, it's 1.5 million, and it's for a main contract we've never heard. Well, we know of them, but we've never worked together. Yeah. And so a lot of our conversations were on commercial. You know, be comfortable to have robust conversations about money. Yeah. Don't be embarrassed to talk about money and about payment terms and when the certificate comes out and the process. And the one thing I would say, if you get in that situation and it's not working, you know, do it by the book, but walk. Yeah. Pull the men off. Pull the men off. You can't just pull the men off, but it needs to be documented. But if anybody's in breach of contract, don't let it fester.
Yeah.
Nail it.
Okay.
But I think, you know, it's stepping up your administration. All landscapers that I know are more than capable of doing a commercial piece of work. What makes it different is the amount of resources to do the paperwork well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I certainly feel like skill set wise and project management wise in house, we're perfectly, we're set up and we're capable of delivering those projects. It's just, I'm just conscious of back end and making sure that everything that you've just mentioned we're able to deal with effectively and efficiently. And
doing commercial jobs doesn't need to be onerous. I mean, I personally find it on the plus side, it's possibly easier. It's not their money, so the client is so much removed. So the actually kind of nitty gritty is a lot quicker and sharper and cleaner. And the exchange of money. On the downside, I mean, you look at people like Carillion have gone bust. Who thought Carillion have gone bust? So, it's a minefield, and you're on the ship and you're guiding your ship through. So you have to do a lot more due diligence, a lot more lifting stones, talking to people on site. Go and talk to the scaffolders, talk to the bricklayers, talk to the ground workers, what they like to work for. Do your due diligence. It doesn't need to be eyebrow stuff. And I've known contractors, I walked on site, you can tell, you walk on a commercial site, it's sharp, it looks organised, and you're going to get a good run. And if you're honest with them, say, look, we're a little company, we'll really want to work with you guys, but you mess us around and roll us over, we're dead, we'll die, and we won't let it finish. And I think actually, a lot of the contractors like that. And actually almost will mentor you and help you along, being honest and truthful. And I found, generally, if you treat people and do what you say you're going to do, most of the time you'll get paid.
Yeah. Fantastic.
How do you deal with that?